little bit. We're gonna talk trash and we're gonna follow it up too. So.
Wow. I know. I mean, I hear so many stories, from former Hurricanes players, how Greentree really just helped them when they got to the when they got to the NFL, because the competition at Miami was just so incredible. And so one of my favorite games from your time at Miami was your senior year at Virginia Tech. You're coming in number 5 in the country. They're number 3. They're undefeated. They got Marcus Vick, and not too many people gave Miami a chance to win that game. And so talk about that game as a player up there in Blacksburg and how you guys just laid a whooping on the Hokies that night.
Woo. Oh man, that was crazy. I think we were all white that evening.
All
right?
white, baby.
Yep.
Oh man. Oh man. Under the lights up here, hey, we laid into them boys, and I'm up here, all these Hokie country right here, so I carry my swag well. But that was a crazy game, man. They didn't have a chance. Not that night. It was just too deep, man, and we were just making plays. We were on point. Everything was just running smoothly. So, hey, it was all downhill for them.
Didn't Kelly Jennings have a nice pick in that game?
I mean, we had quite a few people that had picks.
I know we had a defensive touchdown that game.
Oh, yeah, we were celebrating and everything. We're going to celebrate, too, now. Ain't no being shy. But, they're riding high. Fortunately, when I first got there, I got to see Michael Vick eventually getting to play against him in the league, and just an incredible player. But, I mean, even the games that those older guys had against him, man, they were battling, too. Great battles. So, they're a tough team, but that night they just weren't getting it.
Oh, that's one of my favorite games to go back and watch. And so we've talked about a lot of your memorable wins as a Hurricane. What were maybe one or two of the most painful losses during your college career?
Oh, the championship, man.
Fiesta Bowl.
I knew you were gonna say that. I just had to lead into it.
So Rocky, I'm gonna give you a little insight. Marsh is gonna ask you about the 05 Georgia Tech game. I know it's coming, right? Yeah. Right, Marsh? I know that.
I was gonna ask about it. I won't lie. I was gonna ask.
Oh man, them ATL boys, they got some swag, man. They came in here, they had Calvin too, and he was giving us some fits, but I don't know what happened a week before, but we were just riding a little bit too high. Then, they came in. It was a perfect timing, right? So they were just making plays. Mobile quarterback that was just running around, throwing in, extending plays. So they got the best of us that night, and that really hurt because that hurt us in the standings, I believe.
It did. It knocked us down, and it kept us from going to the inaugural ACC championship game. But we only gave up 14 points. Again. Yeah, but we only gave up 14 points. So Rocky, I'm not going to put you on the spot, but just a quick question. Again, you're a defensive guy, right?
Yeah.
How hard was it to watch the offense? Because it's kind of like what we are still have been experiencing a little bit the last couple of years here at Miami, with the defense being really irrelevant and our offense just being stagnant. So again, you gave up 14 points to Georgia Tech that night. You think the offense could have done a little bit something? Maybe, you know what I mean? What was your take on our offense? Listen, you guys are long gone. You guys are all friends. You can literally, spill the beans. How bad was the offense?
We had our game, especially. I don't remember the quarterback, but if it was Brock, he's like hot or cold, man. It took him a while to get it going, but once he did get it going. So just that night, man, it just wasn't clicking for those guys. Probably a bunch of drop balls I can remember, and our only on the defensive side mission was to try to set the offense as best we could, and 14 points ain't bad, but we didn't put out good enough for the win.
Dang. Yeah, I remember being a kid in the Orange Bowl that night, and that was a tough one. And so I know Hurricanes fans hate to talk about this game, but a lot of people, you were one of the top in the Fiesta Bowl against the Buckeyes. You were one of the best players on the field that night on defense. What was the feeling going into that game? Did you guys feel like, you already had the game won? Do you feel like you guys maybe overlooked Ohio State a little bit?
No, I feel like great competition. They had very big size players. We took a couple bad ends of the draw with McGahee going down and other guys being injured, and man, it was just a battle, man. And I feel like we did enough to win, but all of a sudden we had to come back and play some more. So um, just wasn't our night, or whatever the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl curse
So
still lives.
let me ask, when in overtime, and the pass falls incomplete, you guys think you win, and then that flag comes out. What was it like having to go back out on the field and already thinking you won, but what was it like to go back on the field and have to play more of that game?
I don't know. What overtime was that? Was that the first one?
That was the first one, yeah.
Oh man, it was crazy because I already threw my helmet. A lot of other people were celebrating. They might have dropped some of the tiki, the little paper stuff out of the sky. I don't know, but it's like, man, we gotta go do this some more. Like I didn't see anything, and I was on that side too. Glenn Sharp was over there, and I knew he was split out wide. They were all by themselves, and we knew it was coming. And I so bad just wanted to just buck my responsibility, just run over there, see if I could do something. But like, man, it was a good play, man. You just gotta let the players play, but you gotta respect the flag, and we gotta come back and play. And in the end, we didn't put out.
Hey, I mean, yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Co.
What's that? I'm sorry.
I got a quick question for you. So this is regarding your college career and your pro career. All the running backs that you ever played against, and you played against some really good ones on Green Tree, and then in the pros as well. Which one did you like? I guess which one as an opponent did you respect the most, or like I don't want to say fear, but you know what I mean, like have the most anxiety going up against as a competitor?
Probably the ones that came out of Green Tree, man. I had to say Frank, man. He's the best I ever seen. Even from, when they set us down for our little recruiting visit, they showed us highlight tape. I was like, man, is this for real? Because in high school, I was just fast enough to play running back myself, and I played running back too. But like this dude was nuts, and when I played against him in the pros, he was in San Fran at the time, and he was just chugging away, not too explosive, not breaking a whole bunch of long runs. But I'm like, he doesn't talk too much trash. He's very quiet natured guy. Maybe he changed a little bit now, but I'm talking trash to Frank, trying to thrash him and everything. He just kept on going. And he burnt us for about 100 that day. But it was just, that's what he did at the end of the season. 1,500 yards overtime. That boy, going to the Hall of Fame. So, hey man, that's I gotta call it, man. That's him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean he's still going, which is crazy. Like with especially considering all the injuries he went through at Miami, he's still going today. So this is one of my last questions. So I'm a huge Hurricanes fan, but I'm also a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan. And so what was to you as a player on the Redskins, what was the rivalry with the Cowboys like? I know it used to be big back in the day, but when you were playing, what was the game between the Cowboys like when you were on the Redskins?
With me, there's like a team battle, and then you had individual battles. So like, man, I just love going against Jason Witten. I mean, ever since, I seen John lay it to him when he was at Tennessee. It was like, oh man, I'm gonna get you, boy. And he's a big boy too. So it's like I'm on him like one-on-one the whole game, and just really battling it out with him. That was a great experience. And then can't leave my boy Tony Romo out there. He basically threw me all my career interceptions, and I love that man.
Ugh. Yeah, I don't have the strongest feelings about him. He put me through a lot of suffering as a Cowboy fan, man.
And I know I dropped a couple of dead to right ones walking the end zone. I'm like, oh man, I can't believe it's this easy. So
I swear during that time, like the Cowboys would win like 11, 12 games in a season, but whenever we played the Redskins, you had our number. I didn't get it. Like you guys always just knew how to beat us.
Oh, it was crazy. Those were some great games. The new stadium, I was like, oh man, we got to make this work. But on the flip side, we barely beat the Giants, and they ran off with, Super Bowl after Super Bowl. But the Cowboys games around here were great, man. Great experience, and I reckon it to, the Florida State type games for us in terms of, getting ready during the week.
I love that. I love that. So here's my last question. I'm not sure if Coe or Jordan have any more questions, but my last question for you is I always like to, ask this to former Hurricanes players. When it comes down to it, how proud are you to be a Miami Hurricane, and what does being a Miami Hurricane mean to you as a football player and as a man?
Oh, it's great, man. It's instilled in my kids. I mean, either every day or every other day, I'm wearing orange and green, and that's what I bleed, man. And it's gonna be like that for life. And anytime when I can get out there and come down there and watch a game or host a game here with the small amount of alumni we got up here in DC, like I'm gonna do it, man, and I'm gonna wear it proud. And it's just great to be a part of just this team culture that we call the Miami Hurricanes.
Love it.
Well, I got a couple questions, Rocky. So obviously playing with the Redskins for pretty much most of your career, finishing up in St. Louis, if I'm not mistaken. What is your take now about the Redskins having to, change their name? Like, what's your feeling on that?
I really had no feelings. It's great because, almost kind of bad for me because I got a whole bunch of swag with all the Redskins stuff. But it's crazy, man. You got to respect that culture, what they've done and what the name stood for. And I think the people spoke, man. He said it's not right. They need to have a change. And, now we're Washington nameless. So
The Washington nameless.
Hopefully they come up with a good name, but nothing would ever be such distinguished, even though it's deemed as a wrong name as the Redskins. It's pretty historical.
I mean, I remember watching because obviously I'm older than Marsh and I'm older than Jordan, but like just like Miami, right? So just like at the University of Miami, where like when you're a college kid and you see the former guys, that are in the league now or have been in the league and they come back and they do their due diligence and kind of impart wisdom to the younger guys. Like when you were at Washington, like did you ever get that from like Joe Theismann and Darrell Green and John Riggins and some of those guys? Did they ever come back in and chop it up with you guys or how was that?
I think on the offense end, a lot of that knowledge and info was shared. But those other guys, it was just like me. The way I learned is looking at others, taking the good and the bad and just trying to shape my game around that. But we had some great guys in the locker room, some vets, and one of the vets was a small guy named London Fletcher, who was just astonishing.
Number 59.
Oh
yes,
yeah.
Sir.
Oh yeah.
He was pretty good.
He is the Iron Man. I mean, I seen some pregame rituals where guys had to do what they had to do to get ready to play on the field. Man, this dude took a big old needle to the ribs because the week before he broke his ribs and went out there and just balled the whole game. I was like, man, wow. I might have to sit out that week, but him, he was going hard no matter what. And that was just great to see. And then, being in the film room with that guy was just nuts because he was just knew what was coming. And when you're one step ahead, especially with the advanced scouting that they have in the league, man, and making those plays just makes everything so much easier.
Right. Are you looking to get back, not get back, but are you looking maybe to get into coaching at some point, or what's your future holding for you? Like, what are you looking to do?
I don't know, man, because at first, when I first got out of the league, I did coach some little high school teams around here for a little bit. But I got to tell you, it was kind of tough now. It was kind of tough because I expect so much out of the players, and we don't get that. You gotta work with the guys and just develop them. It's gonna come at any given time or any given moment, but you just gotta take a step back and just really reflect on what you're trying to teach these young men or women, because I didn't teach just a male sport. Did track also, but that was super duper fun. Just seeing the joys, seeing them win or scoring a touchdown or, crossing that